Hi, I'm Barbara Hall, editor of my brother's book, Bokuru. This was a book inspired by the tenacious efforts of a handful of professional field archaeologists over the last few decades in the inhospitable barrens of Africa. Their discoveries of ancient fossil records have advanced our knowledge back millions of years. Bokuru is an archaeological mystery based on a remote region of East Africa. The story is seen through the eyes of James Henderson, a young Chicago attorney who is retained to go to Africa to investigate the mysterious death of Dr. Edward Bronston. The world-famous archaeologist died at his remote excavation site. Here is a mysterious letter that is uncovered in chapter 13. When they were back in the shade of the tent, Mobutu motioned for Jim to take a seat on one of the wooden boxes that served as a bench in front of a long wooden table. "So what do you want to show me, Mobutu?" asked Jim. "It's right here, Mr. Henderson," said Mr. Mobutu as he went to the back of the tent. He retrieved an envelope wedged between two cartons on top of the stacks of old fish boxes that served as storage cabinets. Shortly he returned to the table and handed the envelope to Jim. He resumed his seat at the table. Jim read the address on the front of the envelope. Mrs. Elizabeth Bronston, 1281 Broken Tree Road, St. Louis, Missouri. He noted the return address. Dr. Edward Bronston, Box 10, Uhuru National History Museum, St. George Road, 02, Elizabethtown, Uhuru, Africa. The end of the envelope had been torn off, and there was no stamp or cancellation postmark. "I don't get it," said Jim. "Nancy told me her mother died several years ago." "Yes, sir. It's almost 5 years now," said Mobutu. "Take the letter out of the envelope. As you can see, I broke the seal. Read the letter and tell me what it means." "That's a switch, Mobutu. You want me, a total stranger, to tell you what this letter means? A letter that's written between two persons I never met? You have known the Bronston family for many years. I haven't. I only know Nancy. I never met her parents. I think you're asking the wrong person. Please read the letter first. Then you can comment on it." Jim pulled the folded letter out of the envelope. The stationery was ordinary light brown typing paper, matching the color of the envelope. He unfolded the stationery and read the hand-printed letter. "My dearest Elizabeth, you are the only person in whom I can confide. I have no one else to share my feelings with. My whole life has been one of care and deliberation, but I can no longer remain a man of restraint. You have suggested many times that I quit field work and accept a comfortable teaching position at a university. In the past, I have begrudgingly acknowledged your rationale, but simply continued with my life unbroken habit, ignoring your comments. Now I have my answer to your logic, and it is Bokuru. A field person can work for a lifetime and never encounter a discovery such as this one. In many ways, this is the dream of my lifetime, yet I find myself writing with a shaking hand. I am deeply concerned about the implications of what we have found here. I shudder at what may have taken place in this remote location so many years ago. Here is an event, frozen in stone, which occurred almost 2 million years ago. Yet when I pick up the morning paper, like a ghost from the past, it haunts me. I hesitate to comment on its significance. My profound fear is that all God's children may be dead. Nothing I have done in my entire career has prepared me for Bokuru. I will write you soon with the details. Please keep all I have said in strictest confidence. Yours forever, Edward." Jim put the letter down on the table and looked up at Mobutu. "I have no words, Mobutu. This is truly significant, but I have no idea what it means. You are the only person who could understand what he is saying." "I have worked with Dr. Bronston for many years, Mr. Henderson, but I do not know the meaning of this letter. It makes no sense to me." "I can't help you," said Jim. "I really can't. My only suggestion is that we save this letter. It could be important to my investigation, but at this moment I haven't a clue as to what he's talking about. When Dr. Bronston's wife was alive, he wrote her regularly. When she died, he stopped briefly, but started up again. He gave me the letters and instructed me to mail them, which I did. I thought there was family to receive them, but I was wrong. They came back. There was no forwarding address. Nancy was in Chicago, and he did not address the letters to her. I did not know what to do. I did not want to confront him and create an incident. So I simply burned the letters. I did not send them to Miss Nancy because clearly he did not address them to her. I was sure he did not want her to see them. What did the letters say? I don't know. I never opened the sealed envelopes. I was convinced he didn't really mean for me to send them, so I burned them when everyone else went to sleep. He kept writing letters, and I burned them. You don't know what the letters said because you never opened them and you continued to burn them? That's right. I never read any of them. But you still have this one. You didn't burn this one. No, I planned to, but he died before I had the chance. When Miss Nancy arrived in Africa, I thought I should give this one to her, but I did not know what the letter said, and I was afraid he might have mentioned the other letters, so I opened this one. Well, he didn't mention the other letters. No, but this one is opened. Miss Nancy will know I looked at it. That's easy. Destroy the envelope. I will take the letter and show it to Nancy when the time is right. Maybe she will know what it means. Jim paused and looked directly at Mobutu. Mobutu, there is something else. I need to know everything about Bokuru. This letter tells me there is something that I don't know about Bokuru. Yes, there is something here in this tent I can show you. Maybe it will help your investigation, said Mobutu as he got up from his seat and went to the storage boxes at the back of the tent. After rummaging around a minute or so, he retrieved one of the wooden boxes and brought it back to the table and placed it in front of Jim. He took a seat on the opposite side of the table, watching Jim's face carefully. Once he felt comfortable with the moment, he lifted the cover on the box, reached inside, and took out a large, flat, gray rock and placed it carefully on the table in front of Jim. Is this from the cave? Yes, this was part of the cave floor. We keep it here for security. This is not fossilized bone, so it is not kept in the finished tent, but here with the non-hominid fossils found in the cave. Well, it doesn't look like much, said Jim. Dr. Bronston thought it might be more important than the fossils, said Mobutu. It's just a rock, said Jim. It doesn't look very special to me. I saw it about 4 weeks ago and immediately covered it with sand so no one else would see it. Later that evening I told Dr. Bronston about it, and we both went back to the pit with a lantern and a couple of picks and dug it out. We brought it back here and put it in the box. Dr. Bronston swore me to secrecy. You are the first to see it and know about its existence. You are playing games with me. The letter, I can understand, is important, but this is just a plain gray rock. It may be a piece of the cave floor, but it's still just a rock, said Jim. That's where you're wrong, Mr. Henderson. Please, pick it up. Turn it over. The other side is what is important. You will see it's a very special rock. Look at the other side carefully. Right now, you are holding it upside down. Jim turned the rock over. He held his breath. I don't believe it. To find out what Jim found, read Bokuru.